All right, guys, the Utah Jazz are now winners of 2 in a row. Tonight, they get a win over the Charlotte Hornets and get a massive night from Talen Horton-Tucker. Let's talk about it. By the way, I think my audio's fixed. Let me know. Hoops Nerd Show. Guys, before we get started, make sure that you go to Prize Picks and use promo code HoopsNerds. Sign up today. Sign up right now. It's fun. Do it tomorrow for whatever games. Go follow Prop Bomb and all those guys. They will help you out. But go use promo code HoopsNerd. They will give you up to $100 free. It's on me. It helps the channel. You go put down 15 bucks, they will match 15 bucks. It makes things a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. I have a blast with it. Honestly, right now I'm watching Drew Holiday. I add the over. Alexander Tufts. Let's see. Alexander Tufts, the Wi-Fi's working. Great. Great. You know what else was working? The blocks for Walker Kessler. And he got me the over. So go do it, guys. It's fun. It's easy. It's a blast. It changes the whole viewing experience. And I would. All right, let's talk about this game. The Utah Jazz are playing one of the worst teams. Had won like 7 of their last 10. So they were actually playing pretty well. And actually in the first half, I thought they played pretty well. But the Jazz overcame. Hornets, there's not much to say about the Hornets. They're pathetic. Gordon Hayward is kind of the best player on that team. Not kind of, he just. But when Gordon Hayward, who's playing like this, is your best player, things are rough. 4 assists, 11 points for Hayward. They did get a nice night. Kelly Oubre. Oh, he's always I've really liked and wouldn't mind seeing somewhere else. So, also, I'm just happy that the audio's working. Thank you, Built Ford Tufts. Thank you, my friend. Scary Terry is just basically that's what happens when you're on the Charlotte Hornets. It's a place where you go to just disappear. Want to go? That's what happens with the FBI. If you go into witness protection, they basically put you on the Charlotte Hornets. No, it's working now, Tufts. Don't tell me it's not. It's got to be working. It's got to be working. It's working on my end. It's working on my end. Come on. Come on. Don't freak me out. Is it working? Is it working? Someone. Anyone. Let me know. Okay. Sounds good. I'll take better than last time. Right? Better than last time. That's better. Okay. House money. Thank you, my friend. Okay. That's all we got about the Hornets, guys. They're so sad. Jordan the Goat Besser, it's basically because Damian Jones is a better player. Why is Azubuike not playing? Because Damian Jones is better. He's better. And as much as we want them to lose, or at least a lot of the Jazz fans at this point would like them to lose, it is not what the players and the coach want. The coach and the players are going to play to win. And honestly, that's what you want. You don't want players going out there to lose. And so they've gutted the team as much as they can. But if they put out Doak instead of Damian Jones, I mean, it's pretty clear. The better player does a better job, does literally everything better. I'd be hard pressed to find something that Doak is better, maybe bounding, but Jones is just better around the rim. He makes better decisions. Or a little bit shoot the. He's a better player. A lot of things. The bounce is. Actually, like the guy can spring. I'll say that he is honestly a fun player to watch. When he goes off, it's pretty fun. So, anyways, we're talking about Hornets. That was Jazz talk. Let's switch over to Jazz. The Jazz have now won 2 in a row, and the situation. Yeah, so we're just doing. No, this win puts the Jazz at 13. No, not ideal. Not ideal. Audrey has been so missing her walks. We need it to start getting warm. Okay, because I would like to take Audrey on going on her walks. There's your Audrey up. All right, so let's talk about the guy. Well, basically what happened in this game is the Charlotte Hornets targeted Lauri Markkanen, and he had his worst shooting night of 22. Easily his worst shooting. Still ended with 13 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Still rebounding. The effort was there. The shot was also, there were times where it just was not falling. And once in a while, players are just going to have nights like that. Interestingly enough, it didn't matter. The Jazz still got the win because Talen Horton-Tucker, stud. Guy took 24 shots, was 14 from the field, 58% from the field, 40% from three, 8 free throws, 7. He had 10 assists and just barely missed. For whatever reason, they took away that last rebound. But he was at one point one rebound away from a triple double. The regular season Jazz stays at. That's plus 17 every. That's weird. That's really 17. Woo! Is that a weird number for the Jazz? Is that how many losses they? Maybe that's what it is. But anyways, Markkanen struggled with the shooting. It didn't matter because Taylor turning into something else. And so what I did, look, I previewed it. So since Talen Horton-Tucker did not play. It's interesting. He goes from not playing at all around, let's see, All-Star break's right here. So he started getting more minutes pre-All-Star break and then post-All-Star break. Look, at 27 minutes per game, scoring up just under 14 points, 5.7 assists, 1.2 blocks per game. I think guy actually comes and he'll get like a chase down block and things. Got those. I mean, one of the craziest things about Talen Horton-Tucker is he's actually only 6'4". His wings 7 foot. A 7'1" wingspan. It's bonk. I mean, that's crazy. I think that's one of the biggest ratios in the NBA. So he's 6'4", but a 7'1" wingspan. Typically, centers have that type of wing. That's what's crazy. It's crazy. And so that helps him with steals, with blocks, obviously. Goes up here, 1.2 blocks per game. Then let's 80%, just under 80% line. Look at this, 44% from the field, 35%. Those numbers aren't like all-star numbers, but when you drive to the like he does and that's pretty solid considering shooting was his downside. And now he's higher. Then if you look at his last 3 games. Being same thing, 35%, but his field goal percentage is up 40, 18, 1 steal, 5 assists. They're the same numbers. They're just coming averages. So is this something he can do if he plays, 15 to 20 minutes per night next season for the Jazz? This, can he average like 12, 4, and 4 like that for the Jazz as a backup point? Amazing. Especially if the Jazz get their starting point guard in this draft. Like if they get Anthony Black, or they get, if they get really lucky and we all lose our minds and they get Henderson, something like that, then can he be your backup point guard and absolutely carry the torch for the second unit. Fantastic. That's really great. Jorge Arrizaga, do you think Dunn will stay next year? It's up to the Jazz. I think literally 3 weeks ago. Isn't that crazy? 3 weeks ago he's in the G. Now he's on the Jazz and looks like a NBA player. Got him for nothing. Second 10-day contract. I hope they sign. Speaking of Chris Dunn, let's just 3 for 8 from the field, 5 assists, 7 points. What's not to like? And then thing is he's the defensive specialist. So you put kind of like, honestly, at this point, I would say at worst he's like Gary Payton. He's just a dominant, guard that plays on, basically plays off of your star point guard. Golden State, they obviously have Curry and Clay, and Gary Payton fits perfectly because he's kind of a defensive role for Chris Dunn. Can he just be that? I would be more than happy for the Jazz to throw $1 million a year contract and keep him for way more than, or at least a 1 year, $2 million contract, and then just give him 4 year, $4 million the next year, and I'd be more, not my money, Brian's, right? All right, so let's just go through here a little bit. Kelly Olynyk had a nice 17. There's this number. Look at all these what is going on? What is going on? 17, 17, 17 plus 13 equals an even number. 17, 17, 37, 17. What's going on? I don't know. Some sort of weird omen tonight. Walker Kessler was dominant. 8 for 10 from the field. 16 rebounds. I went with the over on Lauri Markkanen for the points. He scored. Of course he did. I go over on points for Lauri Markkanen, and this one happens. It's just basically what happens. But anyways, Walker Kessler, 8 for 10 from the field, just dominated tonight. 17 and 3 blocks. He did get me the over. When in doubt, go for Kessler. And by the way, last game I thought I lost. I got the number, so I got the push. So I actually won last time. So Prize Picks, guys, if you put the number, it pushes, you get the win. I got the win. Tie goes to you. Ochai Agbaji started off the night really nice, and then been hitting shots. And what I really like with Ochai, been driving the ball. This is such good experience for Ochai, getting more confident, believing that he's an NBA player. I mean, numbers over the season done well, but off last few games. Yeah, that 3-point percentage is down to 36. It was at 40%. Oh, that's cooled off a little bit, but it would be nice to see up. Such a good. He's being asked to shoot the ball in different ways than he normally does. One thing to sit in the corner and just get spot up 3, driving into shots, dribbling into a pull up top of the 3-point line. More difficult. And the thing is he can do it. Get more comfortable. Jordan the GOAT best roll member for 17 months. My man. With all our cap space, do the Jazz pull the trigger on a big-time free agent? Wait for a better free agent? I think they would wait. And we talked about this last time a little bit. I know the audio was bad, so I might as well talk about it again. Hopefully the audio's still good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? But anyways, scratch my leg. I think you should wait. If you go listen to, it's not this one or the Bill Simmons podcast where they talk to NBA. A good listen. I recommend going. But I believe I think it was Bill Simmons. But anyways, he's very familiar with Ainge and Simmons has a ton of connections. That's where he gets. But one thing that mentioned is that Danny Ainge doesn't like to just wait for free agency. Take control and just cap space. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz made another if they brought in a free agent, like they'd either make a. I don't think they are going to go pure free agency, go for a guy and hopefully they beat out everyone else. I think they would much rather trade players cap space. Maybe do a sign and trade with Jordan Clarkson if there's someone else, but doesn't have the cap, right? So, like the Lakers, bring back Malik Beasley. There's just teams out there, and that's just a thought, but just an example. If there's a team out there that has no space, but they really want Jordan Clarkson and a contract they don't like, you can bring them back for a first round, something like that. I think Danny Ainge would love to do. Jazz have nice players. I mean, Colin Sexton's They are going to get through the draft and play them a lot. So that's why I think next year, I think they're not that worried about getting very good next year. I think they'd rather just draft their players, see how good they are. If we get to the playoffs, great. If not, that's okay, because what the Jazz traded next year's draft pick. We've talked about this a lot. They traded next year's draft pick to Thunder, but if the Jazz are in the top 10, they get the pick. And so next year might be a lot of younger players playing. You know, Ochai Agbaji probably going to play a lot next year. My big prediction is I actually think Jordan Clarkson's not going to be on the Jazz. I mean, they have to sign someone, but can you go out and find some players that turn into Suns an nice player? Maybe they give him $4 million just to pay somebody. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Sometimes this is a problem with, you know, there's some front offices that will overpay. Those are the cases we like Russell Westbrook's contract is ridiculously expensive. It's way too much. Way too much. And it causes problems. It's hard to trade Russell Westbrook because of his cap number. It was $40 million. The Jazz were able to get that done. They had to trade 3 players because that's what it took to actually match that contract. You know? But on the other side of the token, if you underpay a guy, it makes it hard to trade. You know, if you're trying to add up contracts to trade for a guy, let's say Jazz really liked, who did they play tonight? And they really like, let's say Kelly Oubre. They'd really love to get Kelly Oubre. I don't know what let's see. Kelly Oubre makes $24 million. So yeah, he makes $12 million a year. Let's say the Jazz want Kelly Oubre next year. Well, you have to match up to get Kelly Oubre, and maybe they just want to pick for Kelly Oubre. Let's say like this draft, the Jazz are like, you know what? Instead of picking our round pick from Brooklyn and Philadelphia, that third pick that's not that great. Let's say the Hornets are like, we'd like that pick, and we're happy to trade you Kelly Oubre. Well, you still have to have contracts that lead up to that. And if you don't want to trade Colin Sexton and you don't want to trade these guys, you have to have guys that match up. And if you have a bunch of guys making like $1 million a year, you're not going to add up. It has to be within $5 million. So you would trade like Rudy Gay, and that's why you might think about doing something like your $4 million for, just because you know if he plays well and someone else wants him, can get the contracts to work, if that makes sense. I don't think they're going to really go for a big splashy move. I think they're and see how good they are next year. Right? They can. There's a trade. Have the assets to likely to trade. Plus, obviously, Utah's not prime free. Better to trade into cap space anyway. Let's see. Getting better and better. Obviously, 17. And we talked about got such a Jorge Arizaga, member for 25 months. My man. Hey, guapo, mi amigo. Wow, 25 months, man, and counting. Really honor following your. And las buenas y en las malas, mi amigos. Yes, for the better or the worse. Can't wait your podcast when Jazz gets the champion. Guys, I think about that. So, by the way, if we win the lottery, that might be my, like, imagine if we win the lottery and get Victor Wembanyama. Then you might try to splash for, right? Because if you get Wembanyama, you combine him with Kessler, and holy smokes, is that the best? Because you've got Markkanen, like, there's a little bit of Giannis to Markkanen when he's driving the ball. You know, when he goes to the rim, he's got that 7-foot body and he dunks on. I'm not saying he's Giannis, but it's like diet Giannis. And he's got a little bit of Dirk Nowitzki in mid-range because he's got that height and he's over small. And being 7 foot tall and moving like Markkanen does is a huge advantage. No, it just is. You that tall makes all over someone that much easier. And then he's got a little bit of defense to him, a little block shot ism to it. What was block shot ism? That's the word. Rim protection. That's the word. Tonight, 0 blocks, although that one block he had and they called a foul was below. Had 1 block tonight. Okay. But his rim protection number, actually, him and Walker Kessler, their combo of rim protection is. Could you imagine this Jazz team just right now if you place Kelly with Victor Wembanyama, who probably is going to be more comfortable as a power forward, and then you combine that with Ochai Agbaji, and then you go either on Sexton back, Clarkson. This is where you want to Tucker off. Then you have the other Jazz have that you don't know who they're. What if they hit on Rudy Gobert got picked at 20. Jazz randomly hit it like. That be him. By the way, this Wolves pick might fall to 13. I'm kind of wondering it. Maybe it falls to 7. But anyways, can they get, they got Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Kobe Bryant go. 13s are lucky number. Anyways, I really like Johnny Juzang. I'm not going to lie. I think he is something. I think we'll see Johnny Juzang next. I thinking about next season, I really think that's kind of what the Jazz plan. I mean, the thing that's nice about Danny Ainge is he's not afraid to do. I even saw someone that Michael Pina from the Ringer. That the Jazz are willing. I don't think that's true. That sounds like hearsay to me. And one thing about sources, and here's where you got to be careful with. Why you've got to. Why you got to be following the right people and randos on the internet. It's a lot of these randoms on the internet have some sort of source. They do. Even I have a few little things, but they're not like legit sources. They're like grapevine and rumor mill things. They're not like I have Danny Ainge cell and I text him and he confirms things. You know what I mean? That's why you got to follow guys that have good sources. But sometimes, even those guys that have good sources, those sources will lie to them. That's part of the game. Someone like Danny Ainge, he'll lie to play the game. And he does it really well. There's a reason there's a ton of rumors for the Jazz. Danny Ainge plays the market as good as anyone. And usually it's just either to do multiple, drum up interest, drum up some urgency for another team to happen with Donovan Mitchell, Gobert. How many times did they tell us that they were trading Donovan Mitchell? How many times did they trade us that they were willing to go again with Rudy Gobert? And then boom, trade happened. So anyways, that rumor, maybe, I guess that's the. I wouldn't put it past Danny Ainge to do anything. They get like an all for Lauri. Decide that they want to be bad next pick. No, I guess that's that is one thing. There's something to consider that if you hit in this draft, or if maybe you don't hit in this draft and you feel like time because you're not going to get that stud player, then maybe you do. I don't know. I don't think that's real. I don't think that's happened. I wouldn't do it. Markkanen's looking number 2 on a championship caliber team. Absolutely. Get Wembanyama with championship caliber team. Absolutely. Jordan the GOAT, best roll, 199. Thank you, my friend. Can't wait to play at the Delta Center again. That's going to be amazing. And I also just love the Delta Center. So one thing I'm excited about is sounds like I don't know what they leaks about. I think basically it's the same color scheme, but done better. But anyways, it'll be fun to watch those players, those uniforms. Feels right. DWCB, I wonder if Jazz can combine their picks for a higher one. What? I don't think you're going to be able to do that unless you're up to like. I just don't see it. It's such a good draft. It's such a good set of picks Jazz can get that I just don't see that. I wouldn't trade out. You always got to think, would I do that deal would I trade out of like the number 9 for 13 and 25, you know? Because number 9 is probably getting you Harris, Walker, or whoever. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let's do our thing. So the sound hit lately has been weird. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry about the sound stuff. All right, so we screwed the pooch again, and we won a game. Utah's now sitting at 13. Honestly, I still believe it. We're gonna be here. I think 7 is the spot. All right, let's sim this. Indiana wins. Man, I think so loud. Is that too loud for you guys? That is so loud. I tried to turn it down too. That's it. Is that changing the audio for you guys? Let me know. I don't know. I've got to figure out a better way to do my sound. I'm not. But anyways, Jazz get 13. What does that get them? Mock draft. That gets them Cason Wallace, who, by the way, to me, looks like it's steel in this. 2 reasons why I love Cason. By the way, 6 gets them Jet Howard. If they get Jet Howard, I'm pretty excited. Wemby, Indiana, no way. That would make me so sad. Anyways, Cason Wallace looks like Drew Holiday. He is one of those guys that just tears the ball out of people's hands. And he's also an efficient scorer, and he's an unselfish passer. Other reason I like Cason Wallace. How many times have we seen guys that were highly touted high school recruits that go to Kentucky and underperform? Like Devin Booker, ring a bell. All these guys that go to like Kentucky and then they go and they get a bigger role and they actually. I think Cason Wallace would win. I would bet on him. So I hope he's our numbers. I hope the Wolves keep losing, and I hope Cason Wallace falls to like here and we win. And I think he could, because I think he's. Yeah, look, got to get 7 or 8. They updated the mock. Cam Whitmore at 10. Are you kidding me? If we get Whitmore at 10, that's about 11. Anthony Black at 12. I don't know. Jet in the Delta Center. Book it. That would be amazing. Jet Howard, like we said, son of Jawan Howard, famous basketball stud, also coach of Michigan. He looks great, and he's 8. Elite scorer. Sometimes we overthink it. Go watch Jet Howard highlights. He's a scorer. He's gonna score in the league. One of those guys that I'm just like, if he doesn't score 15 points per game in the NBA, I'd be. And Cason Wallace, one thing you can count on is elite defense. Count on elite defense, point scoring with this guy, and then you build those guys around Lauri and Kessler, and then maybe you can make a big-time trade with all these. Boom. Like, what if Cason Wallace turns into Drew Holiday? How cool would that be? That would be Julio. All right, let's give a shout-out to our All-Stars tonight. Let's give a shout-out to Baby Elliott Matson, the Lexalator, Built Ford Tough, the Lexalator, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, miembro de 25 meses. Jordan, the GOAT, Best Roll, Just Buckets, JB, Zap Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian House Money the Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Cintas, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, PW the CV, Darren Williams to Carlos Cruiser, Patrick Akubo the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. I like it. Jet Sky Miles Howard. You know, the thing about having someone named Jet, like we've already got Jet on our coaching team, right? What's his name? He was on the Mavericks. Jet. Oh. But anyways, if you're in the Delta Center, you can have Jet. So you can have like F-16 sound effects, like explosions. You make a basket, they make explosion sound effects. Come on. That's what they got to do. Actually, Jet Howard. All right, guys, that's all I got. Like and subscribe. I'll talk to you.